What's up, guys? This is Age with Cards, and we have John, aka Just Nuts, and he got top 4 locals. He beat me final round. He was playing Lair Control, I guess you can call that. So yeah, let's get on with the profile.
Cool. All right, so starting off with the level 3 package, 3 Tour Guide, 3 Lilith, 1 Sangam, 1 Skarm. Normally you wouldn't play this unless you're playing Ties of the Brethren, so like don't play these, and you honestly probably don't even play Tour Guide if you're not playing Ties. It's just not worth it. But when you resolve Ties with any of these, even after Tour Guide gets negated, which is why I like playing it, so you bait and Ash, you just get so much value. You get like a hand trap, a follow-up, any normal trap in the game, and still save Lilith on field for next turn. 3 Arima, it's either a copy the field spell or it's like a decent normal summon, especially if you have the field spell on field. It's really good in like a simplified board state. Just normal summon into a board, tribute their monster, and get free advantage.
I got a question for you. Do you get do you play Diabolos on this one?
I'm not right now. I've thought about it. I mean, just I would do it. I would play him, and then I would just draw way too many hands where I either don't have a way to tribute a monster on my field. He doesn't summon when any monster's tributed, only on your side, and if you resolve Ties, you can't use him. And so, like, I just didn't want him sitting in my hand. Like, I'd rather it just be a trap most of the time. But I've still thought about it, just because when you do come up in those situations, like, you can just, like, win games because people can't out him. The only 2 hand traps I'm playing right now are these. Pretty much when you do the Ties combo, you have a search off of Sangan for any monster in the game with 1500 or less attack. So any like Ghost Sister hand trap or Veiler. This is more for like Tri Brigade, and this is just generic. Hits anything. Was playing Droll, but not as much Drytron as I was hoping. Not as I was hoping, but as I was expecting. So I ended up moving it out of the main. One of each of these. I just think Sanctum is like one of not the most powerful like normal trap you can get. So you do have hands sometimes where all you can get to is just one normal trap with either Trap Trick or Lilith. And I just felt like these are good because even if you don't have a way back into a monster, you still can put like a big beater on the field while locking them out of the game. Still put damage on them, just to like put them on a clock at least, so they have to feel like they have to do something quicker. Into the spells, triple Lair. Obviously don't need to explain that. Not playing Terraforming because I just don't want to open up like 3 copies of Lair and just like hate myself. Triple Ties of the Brethren. This card's crazy. I was playing a level 4 package for Arima because he's a level 4 Dark Fiend with like the Dark Barrier statue and Skullmeister. That way like Skullmeister's not a complete brick if you draw it. But there's a lot of dark decks, so like Barrier Statue's like not even that good. Like it's like the worst Barrier Statue straight up. So ended up dropping that because I kept drawing like those cards, like hard drawing Barrier Statue and like 2 or 3 normal summons in hand. Just wanted to cut down on that. Triple Prosperity. Sorry if you were hoping it was a budget, but honestly, if you still want to play a budget, I would just say like lean away from like the Ties, and just if you lean away from the Ties, you can just play Extravagance and just draw a lot of cards instead of this because your extract still doesn't like matter that much there. 1 Super Poly. This looks weird as well. You have 2 ways to search it via the extra deck, which I'll show you when we get there. But it's kind of inconsistent because if you don't see it with Lair, this card's not very good in the I don't think it's that good. I feel like most of the decks, their end boards, like this doesn't even resolve for like generic Super Poly targets. So just one of when you need it. And then for the traps, the 3 ofs, triple Sanctum, triple Punishment, triple Imperm. I actually like Imperm. I know it's like kind of low power, but it's better going second. But also you have like no negation in like your deck whatsoever for like face-up monsters outside of like searching Veiler. So it's like nice to have that kind of interaction because this is like a lock, this is removal, and it's nice to have like negation as well. Just have varied interruptions.
Did you not like Dynamiscus? Did you try it out?
So Dynamiscus, I have tried it out before. This deck does not like to discard, to be honest. Most of the time you're passing with 1, maybe 2 cards in hand, and those cards are usually like another normal summon you want to save for next turn. And so I just like don't want to like Dynamiscus that away, and if they play through it, like not like rely on a top deck pretty much to continue playing. So you end up going into turns with like no monster on field a lot of the time. If your opponent forces you to tribute Lilith herself, you go into your turn with nothing, no monster on field. So you really want to like hold those follow-ups. And then for 2 ofs, back to the front, this is to get Lilith back or to like Scythe and or Moral Attack more than once in a duel, as well as like Arima's not bad. You can get like Skarm or Sangam back just to grind, get a search, continue playing. Just all that stuff. It's pretty good.
So John, I got a question. Sorry. So I got a question for you. So when you use back on the front, you can trigger out of Scythe in your turn.
Yep. So Scythe and Moral.
Opponent's turn, basically.
Yeah. So Scythe and Moral Attack trigger just generically. If they're special summoned period on the opponent's turn, they'll trigger. So as long as they're engraved and you can do this on their turn, you'll lock them again or pop a card.
Okay.
This was great. Tony knows. knows.
Yeah.
Mystic Mine, the
Of course,
buy.
my friend.
I'll play
Card here.
I'll do a profile of that.
Yeah, this card came up like a ton today. Honestly, I played like nothing. I played like one combo matchup, and every other matchup this card was like really good. And then this, I was playing one of this before, but I just found that like if you open a Sanctum or you open a Punishment, and you only have 2 left in the deck, and you really want that second one. Like sometimes you just need this because you might want to use one for back to the front, and then if you just want to guarantee you get that one of those last 2 copies. You don't want to have to put like a heavy Storm Duster and 2 like punishments and then hit the Duster, and now like you can't clear a monster because of that. So just don't leave it up to chance. It's still a good card to draw. It can be a little bit cloggy, like if somebody opens like a board wipe or something. You don't want to have to trigger it early, but it is what it is. So that's the main. 40 in the main. I was playing more than 40 before with the level 4 package, but now it's down to 40. For the extra deck links, this is just for clearing a token to make it an effect monster for Verte. I'm not playing Dragoon, so not stupid Verte. And this is just for Skarm and or Sangan. I'd rather just trigger them on my turn, so I don't like set them and pass, and like my opponent go through like Unicorn to spin them, and then I just miss the search altogether. So I think it's just better for that. For link 2s, this comes up if you draw exactly Tour Guide with like no ties or it doesn't resolve and no Lair of Darkness, because then you just go like summon Skarm, link them off, or summon Sangan, link them off for this, send Skarm with this. That way you're getting the hand trap off of Sangan and the follow-up off of Skarm. So even though it's not putting a ton of like board presence for you, it's setting you up for the next turn, if that's your exact hand. This is just a send super poly, so you can like wipe an entire board. You can also just make anything dark, so non-targeting, non-destruction removal for a lot of stuff. And then this just helps you push for game when you have a bunch of little dark monsters on the field. It just helps you like mass enough damage for game, and it floats if it's destroyed. You can also destroy it yourself, which is pretty cool to get that float. Super poly targets. I mean, I do side the other 2 copies, so I just wanted to have like varying cards for like whatever I might come up against. We have a decent amount of Salamandrates here usually.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Shadal. I like this one a lot because if you can get this one, it doesn't come up that often, but when you can, it's also a walking imperm when you make it. It's why I like these 2 the most, because they're not only like ripping their board apart, but then giving you a disruption after that. And then the rest are just generic. 1 Chimera Phlasia. This is another card you can send off a punishment. If you don't need the second pop off of Intis, this will trigger on your next standby phase to search Super Poly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so after it's sent to grave, on the next standby, it'll add any poly or fusion spell card from deck to hand. So it's a way to search it. You will be locked out of the extract for that turn, but Super Poly is a quick play, so you can still just set it anyway. So if you just don't need that extra Intis pop, I always just send that just for the free resource, and to just guarantee I don't top deck it next turn. Then double Intis, just 2. Sometimes I Prosperity away, but sometimes I don't because I have screwed myself before with that. And the last 2 cards of the deck, these are not necessary at all. There just can be very, very specific scenarios where you're just like going second and they'll let you resolve Tour Guide and you just want to punish them for it. So you just make a rank 3, make it with Skarms, that way you go make Zeus, and even if they negate the Zeus, you still get Skarm on the end phase to try and play on the next turn. So yeah, that's it for the main and extra and everything.
Yeah. Thanks for the profile.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.